I have always wondered that what is the exact reason as to why Ezio is considered to be the best protagonist in the entire Assassin's Creed franchise. And to be honest, there is not a single reason, but I would say a bunch of reasons that get combined together in order to form the character of Ezio. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about the character of Ezio and what are the reasons the character of Ezio is considered so good compared to the other protagonists in the Assassin's Creed franchise. But before that, make sure to like this video and feel free to subscribe to this channel if you want similar type of videos. One of the reasons that I think greatly contributes to his character is the story of all the three games in the Ezio Trilogy. Now, I also think that the story and characters kind of feed each other and work in synergy. So you could also say that because of Ezio's character, the trilogy story got better. I feel like it goes kind of both ways. For example, in the beginning itself of Assassin's Creed 2, if the game's story didn't have that crazy twist that his father and brothers die, his whole character would have been completely different in my opinion. The circumstances in his life was what greatly contributed in shaping what Ezio becomes in the future. Now obviously, I cannot say for sure that if that tragedy did not happen in the beginning of Assassin's Creed 2, then Ezio's character would have been not that great. I still feel like he would have had a good transformation because of the fact that his father was an assassin who was tackling the conflict. In that case, Ezio would have probably also become an assassin and help his father and assassins as a whole to solve the ongoing conflict with the Borgia and the Templars. I just feel like the tragedy actually fueled the transformation of Ezio that would have happened anyways, but it also threw Ezio into the adventure he faces throughout Assassin's Creed 2, like going to these many different places and gathering so much knowledge and getting enlightened. So this is the reason why I think that the tragedy played a pretty big role in his character arc. The next thing would be that he traveled a lot throughout the game in search of getting more information, so he got a lot of experience from multiple different places. It's actually a real thing that the more you travel, the more knowledge you gain, because you are experiencing so many different things and scenarios throughout your journey. And this is what happened with Ezio. You know, in the beginning we were in Florence, then we went to Monteriggioni, then we went to Venice, then Tuscany, then came back to Florence again. So throughout the game we were like traveling here and there, and that was like really adventurous, and it was like a really good experience for Ezio as well, and it obviously contributed to his knowledge as well. He also learns more about the assassin philosophy in general, and if you guys have played Assassin's Creed Revelations, we know that he goes to Constantinople to uncover the Masyaf keys in order to see the memories of Altair. He was deep into the whole assassin philosophy and was an actual hardcore assassin till the end of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Revelations was perfect in concluding his life as an assassin and the greater philosophy of his. Another big reason I would say is that he was a very chilled character throughout the trilogy. Got a little more serious as he aged, like in Assassin's Creed Revelations, but we also saw his funny and flirtatious side. He felt like a very charming character other than him being an assassin. For example, in the previous game, that is the original Assassin's Creed game, Altair had a very serious personality throughout the game. I don't remember even once that he laughed throughout the game. Quite hilarious if you think about it. Also, the game that came after the Ezio Trilogy, that is Assassin's Creed 3, Connor also was a very serious character similar to Altair, I would say. And frankly, I haven't seen him laugh either. Now, it's a whole different story about why he was so serious, and I understand Connor's perspective that he was in a very tough position. You guys can check my video on Connor if you want. You would appreciate the character of Connor a lot if you see that video. But anyways, so compared to Altair and Connor, Ezio felt like he was a lot more mixed in terms of emotions. He got angry sometimes, he was funny sometimes, he was flirtatious sometimes, he was sad sometimes. We got to see a range of emotions in him. I feel like Ubisoft needs to have more games in which the protagonist needs to smile more. Like seriously, now that I think of it, in very few cases we saw Assassin's Creed protagonists that smiled. I remember Edward smiling quite a few times, not that much, but still, whenever he smiled, you know, it felt good that, you know, even in this serious situation he's smiling sometimes and, you know, having fun. Arno sometimes smiled as well, Bayek smiles, Fry Twins as well, but I would say that the Fry Twins were rather more goofy, you know, than what you would see with the character of Ezio. Ezio was like, he looked like a well-rounded human being, you know. The Fry Twins that I talked about, they lacked personality, and pretty weird sort of characters. I don't know how to describe them, but it just felt weird with those characters, man. So because of this, I also somehow see this correlation that if the Assassin's Creed protagonists smile more, then they are good characters as well, because they are not only showing their serious assassin side but their personal moments as well. We get to see them as a human being and not only an assassin. It's not like the person's only identity is gonna be his ideology. For example, all the assassins are not gonna be same, right? Everyone is gonna have different stuff, and I feel like the game should portray the other side as well, you know, what they are other than an assassin. So coming back to Ezio, in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Ezio becomes a mentor because he actually becomes pretty good at being an assassin and being so much successful at fighting for the assassin cause. Also, the whole game is pretty unpredictable in terms of the mission structure, unlike Assassin's Creed 1. So we get to see Ezio's spectrum of emotions throughout the game and the missions. In the end of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, it looks like his story has ended, but the fact that it still continues after it in Assassin's Creed Revelations shows his dedication towards the greater good of the assassin cause. As I mentioned before, he finds more about the Masyaf keys and also indulges in the story of the Byzantines and the Ottoman Empire, which was pretty good in my opinion. The fight between both of these sides, and we are helping those Ottoman guys in order to uncover the plot of, you know, the Byzantines. It was really good in my opinion. Ezio in this game specifically felt more laid back compared to the previous two games. In the previous two games, obviously when you are young, you're gonna be more energetic, right? But as you get older, you stop getting that much energetic and you are like really chill, laid back, and you don't speak much. As he has more experience now, he talks a lot less and let the actions speak for themselves. The assassins all respect Ezio in this game as he becomes, I would say, a mentor figure. You know, right now, before he started as a newbie, then slowly he reached that position. Now people see him in a way that he is like the mentor, and actually he is, right? And in the end of the game, when he finds out everything about the story of Altair and the Apple of Eden he had seen enough in his lifetime. I like that despite him taking the Apple of Eden, he lets it stay there. It shows that he does not want more conflict because of that, because he has already experienced all of these things because of the Apple of Eden. He ultimately becomes a very mature human being from being a kid who had no idea about who the assassins were. And this is the ultimate reason why we like Ezio so much, because we saw him from the childhood up until his death. Now obviously you have to see Assassin's Creed Embers in order to see his final moments, but even if you play till Assassin's Creed Revelations, you saw a massive transformation in his character, right? So ultimately, my conclusion is that we saw his character for such a long time compared to other characters in the series. Plus, he also felt like a well-rounded human being other than just being an assassin. We see his personal side as well, and the massive changes in the way he behaves helps us see his life journey that was surely not easy but made him who he was in the end. And that's the end of his story at that. So guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. By the way, feel free to like this video and consider subscribing to this channel. And what are your personal thoughts on the character of Ezio and why you personally like the character of Ezio so much? You know, of course I talked about a lot of stuff in this video, but maybe, you know, there's gonna be some things that I'm gonna miss. You know, it happens every time. You're not gonna be someone who's gonna cover every single thing. It's just impossible, because the way we think, everyone is gonna have different sort of thinking, right? You might think Ezio was good because of certain reason, right? And I might think some other certain reason. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.